Buenos días, buenas tardes, y buenas noches. Bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. Jay Slater Case. Was not planning on doing a video today on this Wednesday. Been a very busy day. Got some good hiking in the Pyrenees done today, and also managed to go to a post office where my handwritten notes, there are 5 letters on their way. One to Debbie Duncan on its way. One to Shane Yerrill on its way. One to Google headquarters in Dublin, Ireland, regarding the YouTube channel removal decision on its way. One also going to Tenerife to Luisa Ofelia Medina Hernandez, just asking her if she could clarify those June 2024 bookings at the Airbnb, and one on its way to Northumbria. Yep. Let's see if the guy from Seaton Delaval that just can't commit to a time and a place for a face-to-face meeting that he requested, let's see if he will respond to the letter. Let's see. All right. So, wasn't planning on doing the video, but have to do it. Have to do it because something caught my eye. You know I am absolutely fixated by the comments that are flowing in under the video of Debbie's interview, accompanied by the ever Weasley Ross Miller, I think is his name. The This Morning ITV thing. Yeah, the comments are flowing in, and boy, is it a fascinating read. Now, I thought we'd reached the bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom of the barrel of the AG comments, but there's another one out there. Now, I should say, on the one hand, this one commenter and one comment, the guy's name is Basil. On the one hand, it is the stupidest comment out there. That's why I had to do the video tonight. Just couldn't hold myself back. But on the other hand, we need to give him credit because here's the situation. No one in the accident group, whether it's Debbie Duncan, whether it's Warren Slater, whether it is any of the accident group that are commenting on social media, none of them, not one of them, will even attempt an answer to the obvious question. Given Jay's 3 best friends, great friends, chummy friends, his Tenerife buddies, given that all 3 of them received a screenshot, very clear screenshot as well, of exactly where Jay was when his phone died, why is it that not one of the 3, or 2 of the 3, or all of them, why is it that not one of them decided to do what is the obvious thing, to go to where Jay was, to save him, to rescue him, to bring him back? No one ever tries to answer that question. Debbie brought it up once. If you remember early doors, when Debbie was doing some hand wringing and she said, about Lucy, I just wished, I think her words were, just wished Lucy had gone up there to where Jay was. She did say that. I mean, it is the obvious thought. And I would have said, in Debbie's shoes, I just wish that Lucy and Brad and Brandon and Ayub and Rocky and myself talking about Debbie. I wish Debbie had just gone straight up there when she landed in Tenerife. None of them did. None of them did. Why is that? That question is never answered by anyone in the accident group. No one ever tries to answer it. And I was musing on this question the other day. I said, it's got to be one of 2 reasons. Either people were told not to go there, and that is a good reason. If you got some big cheese that runs your life, your well-being, and says, don't go there, I guess you probably wouldn't go there, right? That could be a good reason not to go there. Another good reason would be, people have said this, that you know that Jay is not there. You know it's someone messing around with his phone. You know Jay's not there, so you wouldn't go there. I actually dispute that. I mean, I do see the logic of it, but on the other hand, at this stage of the story, At this point in the narrative, aren't the friends trying to make it seem like they do know where Jay is and that Jay's alive and Jay's in the wilderness? So yes, on the one hand, if you know Jay's not there, if you know Jay's dead, you wouldn't bother going there. I get that. But on the other hand, if you're trying to create the narrative that you don't know what's happened to Jay, you don't know exactly where Jay is, you just got the screenshot. Well, I think in order to continue that narrative, you would actually go there and say, well, we did the obvious thing. We came here, you know. Lucy's got that screenshot. It's very clear that section of road. It says the T463. Taxi driver would know exactly where it is. Yeah, you would have thought they would just still go there and say, oh, well, we did our best. We came and he's gone somewhere. Don't know where. So my instinct veers towards they were told not to go there. And possibly the person that told them not to go there was the same person that told Lucy and Ophelia, make sure when you do a TV interview, you have your back to the camera. We don't want some wise guy reading your facial expressions and your body language and saying this is a liar speaking here. I wonder if that big cheese is giving out all these instructions. May also have told Ophelia, no, you need to say you drove up this road and past him. Because Ophelia started off saying, I saw the boy walking up the road at a fast pace. She didn't mention he driving past him initially. I mean, I'm just saying there are things in this narrative that indicate someone up above, someone pulling a few strings, is directing things. And I just get the feeling the instruction was put out there. Don't go to the site where we are claiming Jay last was. But I've digressed somewhat from the point here. The point is, we do now have someone, one brave person, a certain Basil, whoever Basil is, who has attempted to answer the question. And I believe it was one of our commenters on our side, Alison, who yet again threw out the question, why is it no one even, tries to answer this obvious question? Well, Basil tried to. So Alison asked, why is it none of the friends? Why is it that none of the friends went to Jay's aid in his hour of need? And I think without any further ado, we should turn to Basil's had 2 years, nearly 2 years to think about this. Make sure that you focus on that. This is an answer that has come after nearly 2 years of Basil really thinking hard about this question. Why didn't any of the friends go to the screenshotted last location of Jay? Here is Basil's answer. Are you ready for it? Basil says, did you want them to all end up dead in the ravine? I guess he's talking about the friends, huh? Did you want them all to end up dead in the ravine? Actually, before I go any further into your answer, Basil, I need to think about that question you've put out there. Did you want them all to end up dead in the ravine? I guess there's a part of me that wouldn't have cried buckets if that did happen, to be honest, Basil. But I guess as I weigh up the pros and cons of life and death, I'd probably say no. No, I didn't want Brad and Brandon and Lucy to end up dead in the ravine, but there is a part of me that wouldn't have wept if that happened. I got to be honest, Basil, from the heart there. There's my answer for you. But let's go on to the rest of your statement here. Have you checked the terrain? Yeah, I have, Basil. I've actually walked down a fair distance down that terrain on both the left and the right side, so I can say yes to that. Then you said nobody could have gone to where he fell. It's inaccessible. You might be right there, you might be wrong there. But Basil, here's the problem. You, in your infinite wisdom, you have confused two completely different points. Alison asked, why is it the friends never went to Jay's last known location when he was alive, when his phone cut off at 8:51 a.m. on that Monday morning? That location, Basil, is not the same place where his body was found 28 days later. You have confused, Basil, two completely different points, two completely different places. You see, Basil, this is the problem with the accident group. When you haven't even figured out that where Jay's body apparently was found isn't the same place as where his phone cut off and the friends needed to go to rescue Jay, if you haven't figured that out, no wonder you are very, very confused by this whole complex case. But I will read out your answer one more time because it is so funny. You ought to imagine, after 2 years, Basil is thinking, oh, that screenshot of where Jay last was, yeah, on that Monday morning, that's the same place as the bottom of the ravine. Here's his answer again. Did you want them to all end up dead in the ravine? Have you checked the terrain? Nobody could have got to where he fell. It's inaccessible. All right. But as I said, we need to give Basil a round of applause here because he actually tried to answer the question. It's like being in class. When you ask a question and no one puts their hand up, and then one person does, little Johnny at the back of the class, and little Johnny gives, yeah, the stupidest answer you could imagine, and everyone groans. But actually, at least little Johnny, in this case little Basil, did try to give an answer. The real villains in all this are the people that groan but never ever try to answer it themselves. So let's try again, shall we? Accident group. Basil did his best. He gave it a shot. Let's hear from you. Why is it? And you all know the answer, because remember, your Lord and Saviour, the Messiah, the prophet from West Wales, he who lectures at the University of Pispot in West Wales, oh, the Messiah, he is in touch with these people. The great El Slugtardo is in communication with Lucy and Brad and maybe Brandon. So El Slugtardo knows. Presumably, El Slugtardo has communicated this answer to all of you. You all know. Just tell us the answer. Why is it that none of the friends, when they knew exactly on their screenshot, they knew exactly where Jay was when his phone died, why did none of them go to save Jay? Basil, at least you tried, although your answer was very funny. Basil, have you ever looked at the terrain down there? I have. It's actually where that last known location is by the road, not that forbidding at all. There are a number of people, Basil, that go walking exactly where that last phone ping was. But let me tell you this, Basil. If you're one of those that is a little bit frightened about certain terrains, I would say the most dangerous place for a lass like Lucy to go would be, oh, I don't know, Papagayos maybe, on a busy NRG night. I would think the chances of getting into serious trouble, maybe not surviving, given the way the bouncers at Papagayos handle people, I would think the chances of getting into serious trouble are much, much higher, Basil, in Papagayos than they are where Jay's phone last pinged. But I'm fortunate, you see, Basil, I've actually seen that terrain. I can make that judgment. Can you, Basil? All right. Now then, I mentioned Pope Christopher I yesterday in a bit of a roasting. He, who still can't figure out how to read the worksite notices of the Tizza bus company in Tenerife. Got no clue how to do that. Still wants to lecture the world on how wise he is. Well, we have someone else that's in exactly that same category. Yeah. Our little London lovey, Laurie from Hampstead, she decided to opine in the comments section of the ITV interview with Debbie Duncan. She's there. Laurie is there. She says some precious things. Remember, Laurie, she has a lot to say about me. She hasn't got spine, like all of the AG. She cannot face the idea of actually going voice to voice with me and debating things. She can't do that. She's a true keyboard warrior, and she's very prolix. Look it up, Laurie, if you don't know that word, prolix. Yeah, she is prolix. Word after word after word after word. But just can't face the idea of someone like me talking to her, reasoning with her, debating with her, exchanging ideas. No, she can't do that. None of them can. But she's written something. I will give our London lovey a nice roasting tomorrow because you, Lorraine, you said a load of bullshit and it needs to be revealed. Let's do that tomorrow. I will say hasta mañana, hasta luego, and adios.